Okay, while Randy is prepping in the kitchen, Frank Ferragine is designing the outdoor lighting display for the holiday season. Frank, where do we start? Show me the way. Thank you. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to help you burn some calories now.
Now, let's burn some calories.
Yeah, we're going to go up and down a ladder. We're going to hang some lights.
Okay, so some of us, I'm excited for how the whole thing's going to look at the end, but I'm not excited about taking the lights out from last year and all of that stuff. We got to talk about doing all that stuff. You have to put them away properly so it's less of a headache now, right?
Yeah, and even for people that just maybe have their first home, where do they start? Well, it's about measuring out and where you want to make a plan.
Yes.
So take some time, because when you go to some of the mass merchants and some of the different stores that are out there, you're going to find a lot of options, and it becomes really intimidating. You said about when you're taking your lights out, well, you want to make sure that if you've had old lights that you're checking all those cables. Safety is really important to make sure that, you know, no mice went in there and started to eat away, because they can become very dangerous.
That's true.
You want to make sure that you're also using outdoor extension cords when you're hanging lights as well. And you want to make sure they're from a reputable source as well. So these are green, and I always like to make sure that I select a green cord so that when there is no snow, it blends in with the grass.
Yeah, the bright yellow ones, they don't work.
No, they don't look too good.
They don't look very good.
They really don't look good, and especially when you're maybe tucking them in between a tree and things like that. Try to go to the green cords. And a reminder, if you're using a ladder, before you use that ladder, make sure that you're looking for any overhead wires. You know, we really want people to be super safe at this time of year.
And get someone outside with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stand it when Leo runs up on a ladder and it's like, you need to tell me so I can come out there. You need someone out there, if they're not holding the bottom, at least watching. Right. Because things can go wrong.
Especially if you fall down, then you get to chuckle at him, and that's what you want to watch. Exactly. Timer is always a good idea, too. So the reason why we want to use a timer, even though these are low voltage lights that we're using, most of them are LEDs. They're not using that much electricity, but we're making sure that we're using the most efficient way because, of course, we want to save some money at this time of year as well.
Totally.
So there's so many different lights and lighting options. So this one here is just a string light. These string lights are fantastic for doing like a birch tree. This is a birch tree, and sometimes at different elevations. So you're using some tall lights on some of the taller trees, the evergreens. These are an absolute pain in the butt to hang. Yeah. They wire in together, they knot.
They can be.
They can be. My preference is to use a little bit more of a mini light with a little bit bigger of a wire. Got it. This is a fantastic, and if you're looking at that color light that's right there, that color light is what's called a warm white. Right? And when it comes to the whites, I tend to like using the warms. Me too. A little bit more rustic, a little bit more antique in the way that their appearance. If you want to be speedy, and who wants to be a little bit quicker, when you're doing some of your shrubs and bushes, you can be using, this is a net lighting. It actually comes as a net that you just set right over top. Oh! Boom!
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, so this is all together as a net, so you don't have to be wiring around. You can just go pop, 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 pop. Nice and quick. And of course the minis as well. The nice thing about mini lights now that they're an LED is if one of the lights goes out, the whole string doesn't go out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Do you remember those days?
Oh my gosh, yes. And having to plug them in before we put them on outside and see which ones are loose and which ones are going to go out and shut the whole thing down. So much easier now.
So much easier. And you know, other options that you have too is like an outdoor chandelier that you can hang. That comes in, you have the brown in front of you, but also comes in the white, which is a nice contrast if you have a darker home. So you can really create just really a beautiful environment that's out there.
You can even have these out on your urns, right?
You could. You could actually pop that right into your urn, and people would earn to be like you. Bad, eh?
No,
Bad, totally.
I like it, I'll take it.
So if you've ever hung a light on some of the eaves troughs and whatnot, a lot of the times you're trying to figure out, sometimes you'll buy clips. Yes. What I love now is many lights are coming pre. These are from Noma, and these ones here already have a clip that's on. And remember, the larger the light is, the higher it is in elevation. You kind of want to go to a larger light so you can see it. Yes. The ones that are closer to you want to go to a smaller light. Yeah. And you want to select really the same color.
Totally, and you have to like look at the box. Yeah. Because we have those, the clip-ons, and we do them across our rail, and all of them were warm except for one. Right. So, you know, look at the box and read and make sure they're all the cool or all the warm, because you want them all to match. Exactly. It's janky. You don't want that.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, we make those mistakes. Tight. And I also love the lights that are in spools, and the reason why I love them in a spool, they're easy to hang as they're coming off the spool, and then I put them back on the spool at the end of the year. Very easy to store.
You're a rock star, man.
Really quick.
Put it back on the spool. so it's going to make it easier.
And I always put them in clear bins. So when I'm storing, I put all my lights in.
Cut it out, Frankie.
No,
that is so good.
The reason why I put them in clear bins is that I can see inside the bin. So when I'm looking for my lights, I can actually see them without opening the bin and looking and things. So we always use the clears that are out there.
It makes sense.
And then the Galaxy. So that right there, the Galaxy light, which is the one that's behind us. This is Tracy's favorite light.
You know why? Tell them why it's my favorite light.
Because it's the lazy man's way of lighting.
Yeah. It's lazy, guys.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's not just lazy. To me, it has the highest impact. So you can put that up all over the front of your house. We've got basically the same color brick. If you've got a nice dark brick and you throw those lights up, it's beautiful.
But you can see it's coming off the tree, but I'll get out of the way a little bit here.
I kind of liked it when you were in there. They were all over your face.
Well, you can actually see it on me.
They're cute.
There you go.
You're electric. You're like a galaxy. Awesome.
And you know what? They've gotten better over the years too. Before they were a little bit, they're softer now. They seem to really kind of fit, and they give you that animation, that sparkle that just every kid would love. And the reason why we light our homes is to make them warm during the holidays, but also for every little kid that drives down that street to get excited about Christmas.
Aww, and you know what? I get excited about Christmas too.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you to Canadian Tire as well as Sheridan Nursery for a lot of the items we showed.
Awesome.
We showed in that segment. Thanks, Frankie.
Thank you.